Coming up on Duck TV News, find out about a big budget change coming to the UO.
And hear about what kind of weather we can expect for Cinco de Mayo this Friday.
Good evening and welcome to Duck TV News. I'm Celeste Elise.
And I'm Avita Garza. Here are tonight's top stories. Last Thursday, UO President Michael Schill announced a $4.5 million budget cut. This is a continued effort to address the university's approaching funding shortage. Oregon expects a $1.6 billion budget shortfall in the next 2-year cycle. With cuts in mind, UO administration will trim their own administration spending by $1.5 million. The cut will reduce funding to strategic investment and graduation incentive grants. President Schill confirmed changes to the university budget will take effect July 1st.
This is not the only change coming to the state of Oregon. Lawmakers are currently discussing a new bill to increase safety on highways. Using your cell phones for any purpose, including GPS, will now result in a fine of $260. The revised bill will now include any electronic devices that are not installed into the car and will begin later this year.
Eugene City Council is considering modifying the name of a popular downtown plaza. Since 1996, the square in downtown Eugene has been known as Broadway Plaza. However, many residents know it as Kesey Square due to the statue of a literary figure. City councilors voted a 6-1 in favor of the renaming, with Councilor Mike Clark voting against the proposal. City Council plans to keep the discussion open in the coming months and encourages the public to give their input. They're also considering changing the land use designation from a commercial to a public space.
In other city news, an increase in anti-Semitic crime, including swastika tagging on buildings, along with a white nationalist visit to the University of Oregon campus, have prompted City Hall members to take action.
This past week, local leaders took a stand against recent anti-Semitic activities during a City Hall meeting here at the Lane County Courthouse. In the first 3 months of 2017, the Eugene Police Department reported 25 hate or bias crimes to the Human Rights and Neighborhood Involvement Office. 12 were swastika related. Recently, a local bar in the Whitaker area was vandalized. Old Nick's has been known to take an anti-fascist policy to create a safe environment for its customers. On Monday, April 24th, in alignment with the City Council's goal of creating a safe and welcoming community, they passed Resolution number 5190, declaring Eugene's opposition to anti-Semitic hate and bias crimes. Mayor of Eugene, Lucy Vanis, further describes the city's view on these offenses.
We find this anti-Semitic activity abhorrent and unacceptable, and that we as a city stand firmly that we are a community where everyone feels safe and welcome.
The resolution outlines protocols and priorities conveyed in the City of Eugene's Hate and Bias Incident Response Plan, including providing mechanisms that the community can use to report incidents. For Duck TV News, this is Lauren Rodriguez.
The complete resolution can be found on the Eugene City Hall website. And now we take it to Mariah and Owen for this week's sports broadcast.
Thanks, Celeste. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Duck TV Sports. I'm Mariah Mills.
And I'm Owen Seiler. From walk-off grand slams to Pac-12 championships, we've got a lot to cover this week. So let's get started.
This weekend, Oregon softball faces some tougher competition this Saturday, hosting second-ranked Florida State Seminoles. This past week, the Ducks hosted the Oregon State Beavers at James Sanders Stadium for the Civil War Series. The Ducks dominated, closing up the Beaver Dam. In Game 1, both teams were unable to get any runs within the first 3 innings. However, in the 5th, freshman Mia Camuso hit a walk-off grand slam, ruling Oregon State 8-0. Oregon won Game 2 on Saturday afternoon, 7-2. With this win, Oregon softball has won 40 games in a season for the 11th time in program history and 6th straight season under head coach Mike White. For the Florida State matchup, Isaac Cruz has more on what players to watch out for from Florida State on this week's Triple Threat. Take it away, Isaac.
Thanks, Mariah. For today's Triple Threat, we will be focusing on the matchup Ducks fans have been waiting for all season between the Florida State Seminoles and the Oregon Ducks. But today, we're switching it up a bit. We're going to give you 3 Seminole softball players that will present the biggest challenges for the Ducks. First off, let's take a look in the circle at the ace for the Noles, Jessica Burrows. Burrows received first-team All-ACC honors last year and was the ACC Pitcher of the Year. The righty boasts a Division I top 10 ERA of .94 and leads the ACC in strikeouts with 217. Burrows hasn't lost a game in 3 weeks and is 23-2 on the season. Don't think the Ducks are out of the woods just yet if Burrows doesn't start the game though, because she has entered the game in relief plenty this season, racking up 3 saves on the year. Next, we'll take it to the Seminoles' speedy center fielder and leadoff hitter Morgan Claveman. Claveman, a 2-time All-ACC center fielder, is hitting .442 at the plate to go along with 61 hits, putting her at top 5 in the conference in both categories. Hitting is only a fraction of Claveman's abilities. She becomes much more dangerous on the base paths, with 33 stolen bags on the year. Claveman is also a black hole in center, grabbing anything that comes her way and putting up a fielding percentage of .949. Basically, if the ball comes anywhere near her, you can expect she'll make the play. Last on the FSU watch list is the slugger, Jessica Warren. Warren, a 2-time All-ACC third baseman and third-team All-American, ranks second in the ACC for both batting average, hitting .454 and RBIs with 62. Among those hits and RBIs are Warren's team-leading 19 home runs. The slugger has humiliated ACC pitching all year and has 3 homers in her last 3 games. Warren shuts down the left side of the infield for an elite defense that has shut teams down all season. Warren's hot bat and good defense has led the Seminoles to an undefeated finish in the ACC. Keep an eye on those 3 studs as the Seminoles challenge the Ducks at the Jane this weekend. That wraps it up for this week's Triple Threat. Back to you, Owen.
Thanks, Isaac. Oregon baseball heads up to Pullman, Washington this weekend to take on the Washington State Cougars. The Ducks have dropped 6 of its last 8 games and have had trouble on the mound, averaging 7 runs allowed in their last 7 games, including a whopping 18 against Arizona. But that's not to say the Ducks haven't been able to produce at the plate too. Jake Bennett and Kyle Kasser have had the hottest bats for the Ducks, each producing 40-plus hits on the season. Playing at home might just be what the Cougars need to get back to winning. Washington State is 14-5 on the season at home, but only 6-16 in the Pac-12. The Ducks are just 500 away from home, and this weekend could see the Ducks continue their losing streak.
There's a lot going on for Oregon track and field this week. Hayward Field is set to open for the spring track season, just in time for Oregon's annual Twilight Meet this Friday at 3 p.m. This meet will bring Olympic alumni Devin Allen home after he announced he will be competing. Allen is back after suffering from a second torn ACL in his knee. While some former Ducks flock to Eugene, part of the team is flying south to Stanford, California to compete in the Peyton Jordan Invitational on Friday. And starting this Saturday, the Pac-12 Combined Events Championships are being held in Corvallis and will continue until Sunday evening.
Oregon women's golf will compete in its 10th straight NCAA regional this Monday in Lubbock, Texas. Oregon will see some familiar faces in the regional as they face Pac-12 foes like UCLA and OSU. The Ducks hope to be more successful this time around after last year's performance in which the team failed to make it out of the regional. Kathleen Santoso has been the Ducks' best golfer this season, averaging just 2 over par. Moving on to Oregon football, with the Oregon spring game in the rearview mirror, the team now turns its attention to preparing for the regular season. Jack Taylor has a story about a heated position battle.
The Oregon football coaching staff is still looking for a quarterback. First-year head coach Willie Taggart made it very clear the staff is looking to the future without looking at what players did just last year.
I don't care who they are, how many games they play, but they're going to be a leader on this football team and get everyone to rally behind them.
Right now, the Ducks seem to find themselves at a fork in the road. One route Taggart could take is last year's starter, true sophomore Justin Herbert, who started 7 of his 8 games played last season. The other, redshirt sophomore Travis Johnson. After the game on Saturday, Taggart emphasized leadership rather than previous stats. Taggart and Herbert both agree that the starter needs to be a voice on and off the field.
We need more than just a leader by example. We have a lot of those guys on the football team. He's the quarterback of the football team. He's got to be vocal.
He's made it a big deal, and I've tried to do my best to be louder and talk more.
Looking to summer ball, the weather is going to start heating up, and so is this position battle. Jack Taylor, Duck TV Sports.
Fortunately for Taggart and his staff, they'll have some time to figure out who will be the starting QB. The season starts on September 2nd against Southern Utah.
So, Owen, do you have any plans for this Cinco de Mayo?
Well, I wish I could watch the Oregon Twilight meet, but midterms are in full swing for this guy.
That's it for this week's episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DuckTV Sports and to like us on Facebook.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Back to you, Celeste.
Thanks, Owen. So Hannah, can we expect more sunshine this upcoming weekend?
Well, Celeste, it looks as if spring has finally sprung in Eugene. However, after a week of sun, we will see cooler temperatures and rain return on Friday. So if you have Cinco de Mayo plans, be sure to bring a rain jacket. On Saturday, we will see partly cloudy skies, and by Sunday, we will be back to the sunshine with a high at 64. The nights will be cool in the upper 30s and lower 40s. If you're looking to escape the rain on Friday, you can head to Portland, where it will be cloudy with only a 20% chance of rain. Temperatures are expected to be about the same as in Eugene, with highs in the upper 60s and lows in the 40s. That's it for this weekend's weather forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. A former Serenity Lane bookkeeper has been accused of stealing $250,000 from the nonprofit over the last 5 years. 60-year-old Melanie Ann Sapp allegedly used the funds from the nonprofit to purchase tens of thousands of dollars worth of Visa gift cards, as well as using the Chevron Fuel and UPS accounts for her own personal purchases. Serenity Lane isn't too worried about the loss, since their insurance covers most of it. Sapp faces 4 counts of first-degree aggravated theft.
Just in time for Mental Health Awareness Month, the A3 Dance Company put on a concert where students and faculty showcased essential mental health issues through dance. Students were required to research different mental health issues from addiction to depression prior to the performance. Event coordinator and teacher Erin Ernst says she wants students to focus on recovery as well because that is just as important.
And to deal with emotions and feelings and start to understand that they're not broken and that things can be better and that they can get help.
Ernst wants her performance class to go beyond entertainment. She hopes that by researching to inform what her students are doing, their art will connect with broader ideas in the world.
The Alan Price Science Common Research Library was recently awarded the 2017 ALA Library Building Award for its remodel in 2016. The award was given based on the library's modern design and role as a community space. The Price Science Library was one of 7 in the world to receive this award this year. Thank you for joining us on Duck TV News. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Duck TV News. I'm Avita Garza.
And I'm Celeste Elise. Have a great night.